gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Block Sauce, your web show that serves up the juiciest discussions in the world of gaming and Web3 culture. I'm your host and re-NFT ambassador, Jinkirin, and today we've got a super special panel lined up for you, so grab your controllers, crack open a Mountain Dew, and prepare to get your game on. Hey there, sauce enthusiasts. It's time to bring the heat with another electrifying episode of the Block Sauce. I'm thrilled to introduce our panel. We've got Justin from Onekin, Jack from Onekin, and Yas from Galactic Fight Club. I'm bad at names. There's so many.
Galaxy Fight Club was right.
Galaxy. Okay, there we go. I was right the first time. See? So how you guys doing today?
Doing good. Real good.
Fantastic.
That's good to hear. So tell me a bit about what we're going over today. I know that Onekin Labs is working on some stuff that's really under wraps. So if you want to give us what you can, I know that there's still a lot going on in the background. You can't tell us too much, but kind of give us the general overview of what you're working on right now.
Yeah, sure. I'll go in. I'm Jack. I'm the CEO and a co-founder for Onekin Labs. What we're building is the home for the next generation of gaming assets. Really our goal is to bring the value that we see in adding digital ownership to the gaming ecosystem to the masses. So our platform is designed to make it super easy to begin collecting and accessing the coolest gaming assets from the best games being built in Web3 and make that accessible to everyone, no matter how much or little that you know about blockchain. Is just to basically enter those folks into the ultimate user experience for that, and that's been our focus and for building out our platform for over a year now.
Now, I know it's not as simple as like just a marketplace, right? Give me a bit more. Based on the website, it almost sounds like a single sign-on system for games to kind of adopt, and that way you're not having to like jump from account to account or wallet to wallet. It's just, hey, I sign in with my Onekin Labs account and boom, I can play my games. Exactly.
So, we're not building specifically like just a desktop launcher. We're not building a Magic Eden copy of a marketplace. As you kind of basically stated, we want to give people a single gaming account that they can take basically with them across every game that basically enables ownership. So we built out a proprietary inventory management system for gaming assets that's connected to every major gaming blockchain that exists in the space. And right now, I think it's 54 of the best games being built in the Web3 basically industry to allow users to very easily begin building their arsenal of awesome avatars, weapons, skins, collectibles, all sorts of amazing basically items that actually now they're able to really own in the most seamless basically fashion possible. So the core of our technology is that inventory management and asset management system. And our goal, as we started out in our Web3 gaming journey as a studio ourselves. We launched a game based on Solana. We put all of our users through an onboarding experience, and that frankly just I don't think was up to par. That what we also saw was that builders in the gaming space are always faced with what chain are you going to build on. There's technical reasons to choose. There's funding reasons to choose. There's audience and community reasons to go choose which chain you're going to build on. That will continue to exist. But for a gamer, you just want to find good games that you like. You want to be able to collect those things from those different games. And as you said, you don't want to jump between 3 or 4 different wallet clients, managing seed phrases from all of these different pieces, potentially signing transactions that can drain your entire, wallet, those different pieces. Gaming needs to be fun. It needs to be seamless, and it needs to be safe for the users. Those are the 3 pillars that we build our platform around, and that we, work every day to facilitate.
So you're not building a game, you're building a system for games to utilize.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. We want to make it easy, again, for the users to collect, and also simplify things for gaming publishers. We basically, in our ecosystem or our tech stack, you have basically that ownership layer for the user. We also have a publisher portal where they feed awesome, cool, exclusive content that will be available in kind of the first Web3 Games Pass that we're going to be coming out with very, very shortly here. And what also that enables our gaming publishers to do is connect via basically a single API and query ownership across an entire user's inventory across every chain that we support, and deliver a corresponding experience on their end. As game builders ourselves, what we know is that process is extremely complex. Try to start layering on-chain mechanics in the gameplay, you're increasing the chance that you're not going to find that fun, basically balance that is just absolutely necessary for a game to succeed. And so what we try to do is enable our game publishers as well to focus on building their game. And then, they can basically use our systems to distribute assets and gaming NFTs across multiple protocols. And so that's also basically what we're building. The goal is breaking down friction barriers.
So you mentioned that it's a single account. How is this going to be tracked? Is it going to be like a soulbound NFT? Are we going to be signing in with Google or Twitter account? Like what?
Yeah, you're signing in just like you would with the existing platforms that are in the space. We have SSO logins for Twitter, for Amazon, with Google, with Discord. You can also sign in with a wallet if you are a more advanced Web3 user. But this is built like as soon as you basically create your account, we spin up that entire inventory management system and all the custodial management on the back end for our users without them having to do anything, and drop them directly into a dashboard that is filled with our 54 partners and exclusive content that you can't get anywhere else, to act as an awesome user acquisition incentive to bring new users to our games and to really build out this ecosystem. Something that we desperately wish existed when we were a studio ourselves up until a year ago. And, again, I think has been really, really embraced by the majority of builders in the Web3 space.
That's actually fantastic, because since you're going to have those sign-in options, that means even mobile games could utilize this system, which I don't think we've seen yet. I know there's a lot of platforms that have a similar like single sign-on system, but it's usually like PC specific, right? They don't have mobile apps or any type of mobile functionality. You guys are definitely keeping the full picture in mind here.
That's, look, we know where the space is going, and I don't mean to dominate the conversation. Justin can jump in, obviously, as well. But, you see basically the trends and the volume of where all this activity is happening, and mobile games are just far and away just continuing to grow in popularity and in adoption. It's why we centered our building kind of around our inventory management, allowing that to be embedded into mobile games, to connect to mobile games, to desktop games, to browser games, hopefully eventually console games, and that you can take the stuff you own with you wherever you're gaming. And so that's the one Kin vision. That was my
light bulb moment right before you took off there was, console. because some of these games I have been talking to them behind closed doors, and especially the ones, I mean, with everything going on with Unity right now, obviously subject to change, but a lot of the ones building in Unity did say that porting to consoles like Switch, for example, is super easy, and it is on the roadmap if they find their foothold, right? So I think having console in mind is something we should consider in Web3 moving forward, because it's inevitable. Let's be honest. Somebody's going to eventually get a Web3 game on console.
Most of these teams have R&D teams already spinning up stuff, working on projects, trying to figure out the sinks and faucets, trying to figure out the monetization mechanics, the core gameplay loops, what's going to work, what's not going to work. And it's just going to take that watershed moment in gaming where, you know, a VP somewhere says, hey, let's move it forward, green light it, let's go. And then you've got a fantastic known IP coming into the Web3 space and really making waves.
Yeah, and
So,
I'll add,
yeah.
like, you know, that's one of the reasons we also built the tech stack that we did was, you know, one, as you know, gamer my entire life as a Pokemon kid growing up, you know, I believe that, you know, the ability to simply collect most of the, you know, these assets as they're coming out in and of itself is something so cool to provide that digital ownership. You know, certainly on-chain mechanics, dynamic NFTs, there's so much cool stuff that can be enabled with blockchain tech. But like getting down to the basics of like, dude, imagine if Super Mario came out, when you bought that game, you got a collectible of the original Super Mario character that you've now, you know, you can just hold on to. And, you know, again, that's something that fans want, and, you know, our systems from distribution to ownership with basically that super simple connection with a single API can enable games that were built not to be blockchain native to start experimenting with allowing their fans to collect their IP in a really meaningful fashion.
100%. So, Yas, I know that Galaxy Fight Club is one of the partners with OneKin. Are you able to disclose the how simple or how easy was it to integrate with their system from a game side of things?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think initially we thought that it would be a little bit easier than it ended up being, but it was still fairly easy. It wasn't super difficult by any means. I think it took us what was it actually, like maybe a week or two to just go through all the steps. Obviously, sometimes you need a day or two just to touch base with the OneKin team, make sure that, you know, everything is aligned. Have some questions along the way, but it is pretty straightforward, and I also think that the dashboard is pretty easy to navigate.
Oh, that's good.
Obviously, with it still being in the super early stages, there's like a couple of things that could be improved, and I think I sent you guys some feedback on that last week or so. But that's like, to some degree, maybe also being just like nitpicky and just, you know, trying to make sure that, because I mean, I genuinely care as a partner, right? Because I mean, they're amazing guys. They've been amazing to work with so far. So what I also want to make sure is obviously to be able to, or to make sure that I can provide them with what I think I would do if I was in their shoes, right? Because essentially, what it's going to come down to is it has to be seamless for when they launch, when they decide to open the floodgates, for users to come in, for more projects and more games to come in. So yeah, really, that was just the entire thought process for me, and just making sure that, you know, I can just try and put myself in their shoes and kind of help figure out what can be done to just provide the best experience for everyone coming after us, you know?
100%. I'll just say, you know, I mean, it's so critical to have amazing partners like Galaxy Fight Club to provide that early feedback. There's no question. You know, we've been building out this technology, we've been building out this platform for a year. But as you were kind of mentioning on the infrastructure for this call, it's like when when you're launching something, it's the most important thing that we do is listen to our partners and then make rapid improvements in where we're going. That's just the startup mentality that you have to go with more fingers and, you know, basically basically eyeballs and contact that you can get with your product. And the more you listen, the better it gets. We went from having, I think, like something like 12 APIs or maybe more, Justin, probably shortening it to like simplifying that down to 3. Which is now simplified down to 2. I think is where we're at. And so
it's 1 now. We got it down to 1.
Basically, continue to basically look at those different things and say, look, how do we make this easier for our partners? And again, we're going to be going into beta very shortly, and so we're going to be listening to that early feedback and rapidly iterating, because at the end of the day, we know what our goal is, but it's going to take both our partners on the gaming side and the users in the community, to help us get there.
So you
and
guys
I also know that.
Oh, go for it.
Sorry. Yeah, I also know how difficult it is to pay attention to like small details, right? Because I remember back like about 2 years ago when we launched our first closed beta or early alpha version of our game. I remember that the user experience was not the best, and that was just purely because we as founding team, I think it's really easy to just get lost in like the actual tech side of things, because obviously to have a system like Jinkirin where you not only integrate all sorts of different chains, but also have that inventory management system and whatnot. There's so much stuff happening in the background that sometimes it's just so easy to like just miss the little bits and pieces that might be important for just a great like onboarding and user experience. So I can definitely relate to that, but that's exactly what essentially they were saying. Like, it's just important to kind of get that feedback, I guess. And that's literally the same thing that we did, right? It's just like having people there that can give you feedback and kind of going from there.
Exactly. Iterative development is basically a standard across pretty much any industry in tech. Let's be honest. You can't just throw something out there and expect it to work perfectly. That's why you got beta testers, you got alpha testers, pre-alpha testers. Like it's a constant battle to try and improve and make that perfect product, because let's be honest, there's no such thing as a perfect product. If Microsoft, a multi-billion-dollar company, still can't put out something perfect, I highly doubt any of these Web3 companies can, but we can make it the best we can, right? So you guys are definitely killing it. Love to hear any company that says, we're working on it, we're taking feedback, we're changing it up, then we're taking more feedback, changing it up. That's the way. So
the only way, yeah, exactly. You can try and you can sit and design something, in a sandbox for only so long, without getting that actual, tactile basically touch from our partners and now from the users going into beta. That's core ethos at Jinkirin, because this product that we're building, we're really trying to build it for the greater Web3 gaming ecosystem. Like I said, we started, as an indie studio, building our own game, launching that, last year when, what we thought was maybe peak bear, but, now it's, obviously almost, a year plus kind of from that. But yeah, our goal here is to provide a truly fun experience and to show people that this technology needs, will just add value to the gamer's experience. And that's, anyway, that's our mission. So,
I'm kind of curious on the security side of things, because obviously when you have a single sign-on, that becomes a bit more of a concern, because instead of one account getting compromised, it's technically across the board. So can you kind of go over how you're ensuring the security of user accounts? Like, are we going to have 2FA options? Is everything encrypted? Can you kind of go into some detail about that?
Yeah, 100%. We got a world-class development team that basically is putting security at the top of everything we do. So 2FA is absolutely a standard basically for where we're at. So and is already integrated into our platform. I think the other thing that we're, as I kind of mentioned, when we're launching our beta here, we're giving them access to a whole suite of games and the ability to collect. We will not have like a fully the trading aspect of the marketplace is not going to be a focus for basically the launch. It's more making sure that handoff to our games, is seamless, that they can go and collect all of these amazing items and utilize them in different gaming environments. that's really where we are. We were, and so I think when you start like basically moving assets, you have the ability to take your assets, to move them into a custodial wallet that you have, to take them to OpenSea to begin trading, if that's basically where you're going to want to go do, or any of the different marketplaces. But for the launch of our product, we're really, again, like we said, this is about people that actually care. We're going for people that care about gaming, care about the builders in this space, care about the IP that's kind of coming into it. That's who we want inside of our platform, 100%. Obviously, trading is an amazing part, and can be a whole aspect and fun different pieces on that. I think that starts to basically add a lot to kind of some of those different security questions that you have, because if you get someone that goes and just floors your NFTs on a marketplace, or some of the different things that you see happening in the space. But one, we start with 2FA encryption in all of our accounts, and basically then also having 2FA when those assets are moving, and basically making sure that before those things move out of our ecosystem, that they're again you're getting that double layer of authentication.
I wish that MetaMask did that. The number of oopsies I've made in MetaMask could have been prevented if you just pinged my phone.
Like, blockchain transactions are forever, and there's no undo button. They think that's I've been operating in this space for 3+ years, purely on the NFT side. That's you learn that real quick, and it only takes one good time to get burned before you're wishing you had a little bit of a different solution. And our goal is to welcome in so many new people to the space, and so a safe sandbox for them to operate in is paramount to everything that we're doing.
It just dawned on me, why doesn't MetaMask have 2FA options? Think about that. If my seed phrase got stolen and 2FA was enabled, unless they SIM swap me, they wouldn't be able to make transactions even with my seed phrase.
I think
why is security an afterthought here?
I can't speak
how
to
likely?
You go ahead.
Yeah. But yeah, how likely is it really to get your seed phrase stolen, I guess, is the main question.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, we've seen a lot of people get hacked over various methods. I mean, QR codes for joining Discords and stuff like that are being mimicked. There's a new one coming out. Microsoft, their 2FA system, they're getting rid of their SMS and their voice verification. They're forcing people to use the Microsoft Authenticator app. And just today alone, we have seen 3 different hack attempts because they sent QR codes pretending to be Microsoft with like, hey, make sure you renew your authenticator, make sure you move to this new system. Thankfully, our users are smart enough to ping us and be like, hey, like, is this legitimate? And we can go and tell them no. But let's be honest, on a wider scale, people that don't really know tech, they don't understand technology, they're the kind that used to fall for the Nigerian prince emails. They would scan it in a heartbeat, not knowing the difference.
And that's why we built our stuff, starting with that custodial inventory management solution that we have. Again, like, we have the ability for users to connect their existing MetaMask wallets, to kind of go do that if they are more and basically add those into your backpack. But we have an entire obfuscation layer as well, basically for those different pieces, also to protect our business partners on the other side too. There's a lot that can happen when you're signing transactions, and you got to be extremely careful with every link now that's coming across. Twitter's become an entire bot farm over the last couple months. It's been kind of crazy to see.
And they're even verified a lot of the time. That was the whole point of Twitter Blue, was, we were going to reduce the bots. And no, now I just see verified bots instead.
You can make more money by paying $2 and getting the verification. I think that's what they're learning. And now Elon Musk is saying the whole app is going to be paywalled, which is like I don't know. It's I think for us,
it's a wild ride.
Yeah, it's a big problem. And it's a big problem, in the gaming space as well, especially now that we're talking about assets with real value being distributed, traded, all those different pieces.
Yeah. So earlier you mentioned you had 12 APIs and 3, then 2, and now 1. How is that going to play into scalability as you get more and more games making these API calls? Are you guys already looking at that and coming up with options, or is it already pretty highly optimized? What's kind of going on with that?
Yeah, 100%. Basically, we have enterprise level basically support with Vercel. We work very closely, as well with AWS for our scaling solutions, where we test basically in the million, basically at low levels of millions of users already pre-beta. So it's constant testing and looking at ways that you can scale both horizontally, but also optimizing the efficiency on a single server as well. And so those are the things that we have been working on for quite some time. And so again, it's I don't know. Part of me always wants to say I really want to test the system and throw a million users at it and see what happens. And I feel like every good platform that has a super high demand has at some point their systems just can't handle it, which is kind of a bullish statement. But we're gearing up so that never happens at OneKin for sure.
So obviously, you said you got 54 partners so far. I didn't really see 54 on the website. Are there more to be announced, or is there some that you can tell us right now that maybe haven't been put on the website yet? I know the Born list was there, so.
Yeah, no, I mean we've got like an entire suite of partners. I think one of the things, obviously we kind of have our homepage, but I always and my Justin and our marketing team always give me crap because I put every dollar of our development into the platform that we're launching. It's a great homepage, but frankly we've seen a lot of projects that have a $300,000 wonderful looking landing page that don't put the development resources where they should be going into the product. And so updates on logos and some of those things we might be slower on for this, but I think when users get to interact with the UI that we've spent so much time and hours to basically fine tune and deliver the coolest experience for collecting and owning gaming assets we think that exists in the space is really exciting for us. On the partner side, Galaxy Fight Club is an amazing partner of ours. We're super excited. They're doing some cool things as well with us with some alpha that we might be able to drop a little later on, which is going to be really exciting. But I think at the end of the day, like you kind of mentioned, our goal has been to bring in game builders that are building games first, where they're putting fun first in their ecosystems, and really trying to deliver a phenomenal experience that's enhanced by the blockchain technology. And that's the cohort of people that we're really going out with, and that we're super bullish on. So that's been our mantra. Justin, feel free to share if you got some titles that I can throw some of my favorites out. I mean, I don't know if it's on there, but I love the guys over at Xenum. So I think what the Fabled and Shutdown have been doing. Games a lot. I love those games as well. Bornless is great, and there's some really AI Arena is doing some also very cool stuff with. I was hanging out with their CEO at Token 2049. I don't know, Justin, if you want to throw some other.
Yeah, no, I mean to Jack's point, I've said this for years. Gameplay is always the North Star, and so we look at every single partner. Is it an actual game? Is it going to be fun to play? Is it going to be something that's going to get people excited? And so, we've got games like Galaxy Fight Club, Block Lords, Bloomverse, Bornless. I don't know if you've seen Reign of Terror, but I'm a huge tactical strategy RPG fan, so I'm super excited for that one. Aurori, Runeverse, Block Lords. Jack mentioned one of my favorite kind of under the radar games, The Shutdown, which I think just looks incredible. Avagachi, S4 Kingdoms, The Fabled, Rage Effect. And, with this pipeline that we already have of 50 plus that have signed, I think we looked at our pipeline the other day, and I think we still have another 150 plus that are in some form of negotiation. So there's Web3 games being built. It's no longer 2 years away from being a year away. Like these games are now coming. They are here. They're getting out there. They're doing fantastic work, and our job is to help drive that user acquisition for them and help them expand in a massive way.
So how active are you guys in terms of involvement with the partners communities? Are you like hosting any tournaments, sponsoring any events, anything like that, or is that going to come later?
Yeah, that's basically going to be the journey over the next few quarters. We've got some really amazing announcements on partners that are going to be part of that as well. So definitely stay tuned and signed up for our beta to be a part of that. But we've got phenomenal partners all across the space. What as we kind of talked about, like we want your OneKin account to be accessible everywhere. So we're working with some existing desktop launchers that are really big that are going to be doing some fun events. We work with community gaming. We work with the major guilds and the DAOs. Where we've spent, again, Justin says has been in the games industry his entire career at Bandai Namco. Matt Marcoux came from EA and was employee 70 at Riot, where he founded the League Championship Series. So tournaments are also in our DNA. But we also are not going to be able to build this entire ecosystem, nor really have the ability to go and do that. So there's some great things that are happening in the space, and the great thing about Web3 is that it's built to be modular. So we can plug really cool stuff into our platform, but at the same time, just we believe that gaming backpack that you just want to take with you where you're going, you want to show off to people as well, have a level of like a trophy case, those type of things, that experience is really core to what is going to is what we believe makes Web3 gaming different and great. And so again, it's more fun stuff to come as we're rolling out the beta. Definitely stay tuned.
So from the sounds of it, this is going to support multiple chains. Like you're going to be able to pull assets from
13 protocols today, and we're adding more, really on a monthly basis.
So is there like an NFT tied to my account that tracks my involvement with the ecosystem, or like how does Web3 play into your platform specifically outside of verifying other people's assets?
There's a number of ways that it's going to be playing into our ecosystem. There's some really cool stuff that we hope to be the first to do in the space as well. Galaxy Fight Club's a part of that. So there, I don't want to front run Justin's marketing campaign. So we're gonna keep a little bit shut on that for now. But the way that we look at a couple different things, I think is really important. When you talked about like the like what type of NFTs, obviously I think that things like soulbound NFTs for an achievement based system, and people that are kind of leading the charge in that industry are things that we're actively looking at when's the right time to add to our profile an achievement system kind of at OneKin. The things that you can do with a single asset that might be able to have be able to move between a couple different things or bring external IP, basically to all of our different partners. These are the kind of things that we get really excited about because I'm a video game nerd my whole life, man. One of my favorite all-time games still to this day is Smash Bros. So I'm always trying to push those those kind of interoperability opportunities as well. But one of the core things that I think is really important for Web3 is that when you think about like the identity layer, in DeFi and in blockchain, the idea of anonymity and the idea of being able to kind of have that layer of basically separation that keeps your finances safe, like it's incredibly important. In gaming, what we know is that the sharing of information between a user and the gaming ecosystem is actually what makes that ecosystem great. Knowing who your gamers are and being able to basically listen to them, provide feedback, and to be able to provide better experiences. That's an integral part, but Web3 gives us the opportunity to also have them be a part of the journey and the growth of our ecosystem, to reward them in unique ways for basically doing that. So when we look at our profile systems, that's a core tenet that we really think about is, hey, because like we talked about bots on Twitter, the Web3 game ecosystem is absolutely no different. It might even be worse. It's it's really difficult for for game publishers like we were when it was us and basically rolling out to understand who their customer is. Are they a real person? Are they going to be a value extractor? Are they just coming in to try and rake as much out as they can? Those are core questions that game studios have to deal with every single day. And so, we also can be a great be a partner for our game studios by saying, hey, tell us about yourself. Link your different accounts here and give us multi-point of verification of who you are as a gamer. And by doing that, and the reward system and kind of the things that we've already built out, we can basically say, cool, now you're eligible for cooler and cooler content from Galaxy Fight Club. You're eligible for that super avatar that people aren't, because we know that you're here. You're here to play the game. We know you are playing the game. And so we're going to reward you in that way. So those are the things that we really think about, what makes Web3 different and how we can show that this is a value additive thing for gamers and versus kind of where the narrative has been for the past year.
I agree with that 100%. So I keep trying to pull alpha out of you guys. Obviously, it's not working. I'm trying really hard. So anybody watching this, you see I'm trying, but they are very good at keeping things under wraps. So usually I can catch something in the phrasing, and unfortunately, I can't hear it. But if people want to make sure that they're following you, where can they find you and keep tabs on announcements?
Just before you go into that, Jack, if you can't find any clues in like the phrasing or anything like that, you know that it's very serious. So that's really where you know that it's not just alpha, it's big alpha.
Well, listen,
Yes.
we're on your podcast, so we'll give you no. But this is what I'll say. We've been spending a year plus building out the best experience for a Web 2 user to come into Web 3. There's a reason for that. And we have basically the ability to go and potentially be one of the largest onboarding vehicles for this space in aggregate. And that's done, obviously with what the tech that we have, but also some of the partners and things that we're going to be rolling out over the next coming quarters. So we built that system exactly for a reason, because as I mentioned, we want to have a safe, fun, and exciting opportunity for users coming into this space, and to have an entire diversity of games for every type of game. It's why we go so hard to find the best builders, to find the Galaxy Fight Clubs and the rest of the 54 partners that we're so proud to be representing at OneKin, is because yes, that's what we want to showcase. That people have been building for not months, for years, and the fruits of those labors are just about to really start to shine. I think in the later parts of this year and all through 2024.
So how about those socials?
All right. At OneKin Labs on Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it now. Discord.gg/OneKin. And then go sign up for our beta at onekin.io/beta. Or if you can't type that in, go look on the link on the site. There'll be a big sign that says join the beta. Go get signed up. Go share your code with everyone.
Don't worry, Rod knows what this means. Links below. Put the links below. We'll hunt down those and make sure that they're under the video for you guys. But so Justin, this is probably more your field. I'm just now kind of hearing about OneKin Labs. Like I've seen it on the feed from other creators. What is your growth strategy? What's your go-to market strategy?
So obviously, as Jack mentioned, we've been building this for a reason. Coming from a gaming background, being at a previous Web3 project, going to PAX, going to TwitchCon, having a game on the show floor, first game to ever, be shown off in North America at gaming events. We thought, the masses were coming and kind of bought into that hopium of like when Web 2 gamers start coming in and expecting there to be like some Web 2 gamer tree that I could go out and shake out in the front yard and they're all going to fall in front of their computer and start playing. That's not the way it works, unfortunately. I had a very chance meeting with Jack and saw what they were building, who they were building with, and jumped at a chance to be a part of this because of the partnerships that we have both with the Web3 publishers, what we're doing to bring in Web2 gamers, who's a part of that narrative. I think is going to be something that, years from now, when there's the Web3, wing of the video game Hall of Fame, what we're trying to build here, I think, is going to be really, really impactful for publishers. It's going to be impactful for developers. It's going to be impactful for gamers. They're going to have like a Rosetta Stone, one source of truth of great Web3 games with great exclusive rewards. Get in there and play. Learn about these games. See what makes them different. See what makes them the same. Games are games are games. And so it's really, really cool to be a part of that story. It's really cool to work with partners like Galaxy Fight Club and all of our other partners, and being a part of that process with them of, walking through like, okay, let's come up with something really cool that's going to get people excited and get into your game.
Yeah, so we've got some really big shots that we'll be taking later this year that are going to be massive for, one of the big reasons that we've been able to get so many amazing builders to basically ape into a platform, like you said, that's basically pre-launch, where we are because of those opportunities that we've spent the last year cultivating and building out. We're also right now, really we're going at the, at the organic level. Justin, as he mentioned, has been in the games industry his entire career and worked and met at previous Web3 titles. So we've got a slew of content creators that are going to be like playing our games and kind of going in that direction. We want to build a really amazing organic kind of swell from the existing Web3 side, and then we've got some serious bazookas to go out with later that are going to be really exciting for people hopefully to engage with, and at the end of the day, because of those, we have been diligently trying to optimize and create the overall best experience, that when you actually bring users to this, that they want to stay, that they have reasons to come back, and that they don't have those experiences. Because honestly, it takes one bad experience in Web3 to be like, I'm out, man. I don't need to go get rugged by, this project. I don't need to get hacked and my wallet drained. And those things are really hard to come back from a customer experience side. So the core of our go-to-market, I would say, is building out a wonderful customer experience. And of course, building the partnerships that we have with Galaxy Fight Club, with the protocols that we support. As I mentioned, we have direct investment or partnership with every protocol that we support, which is also a huge thing. Working with the guilds, working with some of the other larger players in the space that we're partnered with. That's all basically part of the go-to-market, because we believe this is a time for us in a bear market to come together, to build some shit, to come out with a kick-ass experience for everyone that loves gaming, and to show this people that it's a real space. And this is, again, the people that are building here, you're gonna have the fugazis that you don't want to interact with, but at the end of the day, you have a ton of people that are saying, we see how this enhances gaming, how CS:GO skins, that are trapped in some server, but somehow are trading on black markets. Like, that's not really the way forward. And you should be able to own the pieces of content of IP that you care about. So anyway, we're bullish, we're excited. Stay tuned. The beta.
I got a hard one coming for you, but first I want to ask Yas, because obviously you guys are building a game that's partnered with them and you're integrating their system. What has you most excited, or what do you see being the biggest benefit to working with OneKin for Galaxy Fight Club that you can talk about, obviously?
Yeah, that's the problem.
No, like, is it just the user experience? Is it just the onboarding opportunity? Like,
I think, essentially, I would just have to circle back to what Jack said, without being able to add much more to it. I think what gets us and also my friends over at other game Web3 game titles the most excited is their potential to actually onboard a large number of users. And I think that, like Jack said, and I quote him again, that are actually then looking to stay, right? Because I think it's actually very straightforward to just, you know, run some campaigns to just get, I guess, new users in. I think retention is really something that Web3 games are struggling with. So I think having that platform with that great user experience where you have your inventory, where you have all of these additional features, with the potential of onboarding new users into the space. So not just focusing on, I guess, making Web3 gaming more interesting for people who are already in Web3, but actually finding people outside Web3 who are just interested in gaming or who are known to be dedicated gamers and kind of bringing those people in. I think that really is what makes it super attractive for us as Web3 games. And I also think that it creates also another level of competition between the games, right? Because I think that's also something that I'm excited about, because now we have, I mean, there's already a couple of platforms out there, right?
Yeah.
But I think that once One goes live and everything, they start rolling out everything to the public, I think that this does certainly have the potential to become the main hub, and being in competition with the other games for the prime light or the prime spots on that platform, I think is really something that I'm looking forward to. And yeah, I think that also benefits the gaming space in Web3 entirely, because not enough people are focusing, like you guys were also talking about earlier, about actually building fun to play games. And that's really what it should all be about, right? So yeah, I think it's only doing good for us.
Competition drives innovation, 100%.
Yep.
But don't murder me over this one. But I got a hard question for you guys. Hopefully you have a good answer. So I used to play a Web3 game that relied on an API for sign-in. That API went down a lot, and I couldn't play my game when that happened. Do you guys have a backup plan or a workaround in the event that something happens and people cannot sign into OneKin?
Yeah, so I mean, the way to think about, basically how we link to our gaming partners isn't, necessarily always going to be like you're just signing in with your OneKin account. It's more like you'll be able to link your OneKin account, which is also checking all the inventory that you have in your OneKin account. And so, it's because those games are at various stages. They also are building their own experiences that they believe to be best for their game. So we're not trying to dictate basically, how that, that account needs to look, how those profiles need to look. They can do that. But what we allow them to do is link your OneKin account inside of the game. And so, again, they're likely, again, we haven't even, like SSO login is something like, at the game level that is in the roadmap, but that's actually not, a priority. The main thing for us is that when you log into Galaxy Fight Club and you're in the profile, that you'll be able to basically link your accounts, and then they can query all of the things that are in your inventory in your OneKin backpack, which can include both all of your gaming assets, but we also, as I mentioned, allow you to add your existing wallet infrastructure and select specific NFTs to put into that backpack. Now, it doesn't actually move your NFTs, which is great. What we do is we provide a database of basically the user's inventory so that they understand, so that maybe they do a partnership with Yuga, they do a partnership with Azuki, and you have one of those different NFTs. Be able to add that to your OneKin backpack, and then they can build a custom experience specific to those holders that can be another user acquisition driving event for our gaming partners. So when you're talking about that API, I totally understand, but like where we're really looking and what we want that OneKin is that it's embedded into those games deeply, that it brings it with them, but it also doesn't, take you out of the experience that Galaxy has built, or a lot of our other partners.
So you're basically, from the sounds of it, you're not building the account system for games. You're leaving that to themselves. They can tie it to their OneKin account, and you guys are building a system to push interoperability forward.
Correct.
See, that's the word we've been missing this entire time, interoperability. Now, omnioperability, mind you, which everyone seems to think, you know, I'm going to be able to use my Fortnite skin in Grand Theft Auto. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about Grand Theft Auto being able to see you own a Fortnite skin and maybe giving you some clothes to match it, right? And that incentivizes you to go from Fortnite to Grand Theft Auto, or honestly, it gives more value to whatever you're buying. Like if I go spend $20 on a Fortnite skin, I think I'm getting a good deal because I use it in Fortnite. But what if now all of a sudden I can use it across an entire ecosystem of games? It's worth a lot more than $20.
Exactly. That's what we really believe in. And, you know, we also believe in the fact that, like, when you're talking about interactive media in the gaming space, when you're talking about where media generally is heading, the crossover between these different pieces, the crossovers between fashion brands, music, and all of these different pieces into the gaming world. We want to basically be a driver of those different interactive elements, so you can bring people that care about different things. So, you know, you can bring the fans of people like Little Baby, or some of the other like musicians, or some of those, or brands that that are in the space like Red Bull or Mountain Dew, as you're kind of talking about, right? And have a really cool basically experience based off of a token you own that now has a partnership with Galaxy Fight Club. And so you basically add that to your OneKin backpack, that we can validate that for all of our 54 partners, and then they can build a custom experience based off some of that. So we act as almost like also an extension of BD to some of those brands, because we have a lot of different avenues to go and build those relationships.
So about that NDA.
None of those, by the way, were
I want to know more.
Although, you know, it might be a little hints there, but none of those are breaking our NDA. I will say that.
Yeah, and I think too, the point you bring up of having that Fortnite skin and taking it into GTA, it's not just that; it's having a different experience as well. So maybe it's having that Fortnite skin, and now you've got an exclusive mission in GTA, or maybe it's an exclusive gameplay mode where your Fortnite character is now a giant kaiju in GTA, where you've got to work with others to try and take him out. Or it's the opportunities are endless for what you can actually do, and it kind of is a disservice to what you can do by limiting yourself in those areas. And so one of the things that we love doing is talking with our publishers and coming up with cool and exciting ways to implement items as pets, or as as an enemy character, or somebody that you've got to chase around, or stuff like that makes that experience similar but incredibly different across each and every different game that's on our platform.
I think Yas was going to say something. Did you have anything to add?
Yeah, I was gonna give like a more practical example also on the interoperability part, because the whole concept of Galaxy Fight Club essentially is integrating different IPs into our game. So basically like a Super Smash Bros. For Web3, for those who are not familiar. And we also partner with over 50 projects by now, including some really big ones like VFriends, CyberKongs, Neo Tokyo, and so on. And one of the common, I guess, like barriers for their communities to actually start using their characters, or based on their NFTs, right, within our game, is the factor of security. So CyberKongs actually is a great example for this, because they are integrated into so many different, I guess, experiences, as I like to call it. That includes games, includes just like I guess some like sandbox kind of metaverse projects, whatever that may mean. But one common barrier that we are faced with is the holders of those NFTs saying, "Hey, we do not want to go in and sign in with our wallets onto all of these different platforms." Right? So there are those users who, I mean, it makes sense, right? If you have like an NFT that's worth like 20 grand or even more, you do not want to go around to like 20 different projects and sign all of their different contracts and risk your NFTs getting stolen, right? So I think having a platform that can validate the ownership of your NFT. So saying, okay, I have that CyberCon, just as an example. I go into OneKin. I do not have to transfer it to a different wallet or anything. I can just validate the ownership by interacting with their contract once, and then being able to access all of these different experiences, games, whatever it may be, through their platform, I think is a huge play.
Exactly. Yes, and you know, to be clear, even on that, right? It's not like we're asking the CyberKong's owner also to like actually move their NFT into our. We
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Just like validate.
Exactly. We basically
Yeah.
just allow that connection point, and then provide the validation layer for these games, which is also how you speed up the experiences that are available for these different pieces, right? And so, you know, I think there is a world where eventually these things are scaling from one game to another, and they're jumping out. I think that actually generative AI will play a big role in that. When, you know, but that's probably, you know, this has to be done in phases. And you know, now as like awesome games like Galaxy Fight Club that have already have over 50 partnerships of their own. Like, this is where you can start to create really cool network effects, to begin bridging communities together, and driving super fun, awesome, you know, digital identity moments, and really just cool stuff that we're excited to be a part of, frankly, and just helping to go make it easier.
Definitely, and you hit the nail on the head. I was actually about to mention the networking opportunities and potential, and it sounds like you guys are already there. So we did cover a lot today, like a lot. Still couldn't get any good alpha, but it happens. So make sure you guys are following them on Twitter and everywhere else that they mentioned earlier. Rod, get those links. Put them down below. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to touch on before we wrap things up here?
I mean, I'm just gonna obviously, of course, again, show the beta. You know, look, punch those links. They're down there somewhere. But yeah, onekin.io/beta. And absolutely, I'll go ahead and shout out Galaxy Fight Club, and I'll pass it to you because you probably want to do a shout out too.
I appreciate that. No, actually, no shout out from my side. Obviously, if anyone wants to check out Galaxy Fight Club, we'd be more than happy to welcome you. But other than that, just really appreciate the invitation. I had a blast just having this conversation with you guys. And obviously, thanks for hosting.
Yeah, Jinkirin, thanks for all you do in the space, brother. Like, you do good work, and we appreciate it.
Well,
Amen.
like everybody else, iterative building. I'm constantly trying to improve myself. So we'll all get there one day. I won't say it. I don't subscribe to it, but you probably know what I'm thinking. Anybody who's watched these shows before, whether live or recorded, knows that there's a certain phrase I hate saying, and sometimes it slips, but I'm not saying it today.
There you go.
Got it? Oh man.
It's been really, really fun. Thanks so much for having us on.
Yes,
We look
thank
forward
you.
to coming back and giving updates.
Not a problem. Again, guys, that's going to be a wrap for us. This was another great episode of the Block Sauce. But before we say farewell, a huge thank you to our guests, Justin, Jack, Yas. Thank you again for taking time out of your day to hang out with us and share some insights on this platform that's coming up. Yas, thank you for telling us a little bit about Galaxy Fight Club. You guys got a lot going on over there too, which if you guys didn't see in the intro, that was Galaxy Fight Club. Rod, make sure you edit that in. We'll get that video after this. But we also couldn't have done it without all of our amazing viewers and supporters. Your engagement and passion fuel our drive to bring you the hottest topics and thought-provoking conversations week after week. Remember that the sauce never stops flowing. Stay connected with us on social media at ReNFT Labs and at the Block Sauce. Keep in mind, follow both of them, please. We're begging. That's going to be it for us. You can always suggest future topics and any games that maybe we've missed or just flying under our radar. We can bring them up as well. So your voice matters just as much as all of us up here talking. At least I like to think so. That's going to be it for us today, Sauce enthusiasts. Join us next time for another amazing episode of the Block Sauce, where we'll keep the gaming flame alive and the discussion sizzling. Stay saucy and keep gaming in the exciting realm of Web3. Have a good one.